It seems like everywhere you turn these days, AI is all anyone's talking about.
Right.
It's like it's gone way beyond just being a buzzword and really changing things up in a big way.
Definitely. And I think what's really interesting is how AI is becoming a game changer for decision-making and leadership strategies.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
Right.
It's like,
Sure.
what does all this really mean for, someone like yourself,
Well,
for our listeners who are trying to stay ahead of the curve and, really make sense of this rapidly changing world?
absolutely. I think we'll look at some of the articles and research you sent over about leadership in the age of AI
Right.
and try to break down what's actually happening.
Exactly. So we're going to do a deep dive specifically tailored to your interest in how AI is impacting organizational strategy.
Right?
And that really came through strongly in the material that you provided.
Yeah.
So we're going to explore how AI is changing the decision-making landscape, what the evolving role of leaders looks like in this new reality,
Excellent.
and some key lessons for anyone who wants to lead or even just understand this transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all going to be grounded in the current thinking that you've been, looking into.
Right.
So we're essentially trying to get a clear picture of what leadership in the age of AI really means for someone with your focus.
Okay.
All right, let's unpack this.
So let's start by looking at the fundamental shift that your sources describe,
Okay.
how AI has become integrated into organizational decision-making.
Yeah.
Traditionally, as several of your articles noted, decisions often relied heavily on, accumulated experience and intuition.
Right.
But now, AI systems can process massive data sets,
Oh, yeah.
far exceeding human capacity to identify patterns and generate insights that directly inform those decisions.
So it's almost like AI is giving us the superpower
Yeah.
to see things that we couldn't see before.
Right.
Because it can analyze so much more information.
Exactly. And that's where things like predictive analytics come in,
Right.
which a lot of your sources touched on.
That was a big theme, right?
Uh-huh. It's about AI sifting through enormous amounts of information to forecast market trends.
Like, for example, I was reading about how retailers are using AI to analyze social media sentiment
Wow.
alongside purchase history to try to predict, what the next popular product will be.
And that's the kind of data-backed insight that just wasn't available through traditional methods.
Right, so they're not just guessing anymore.
Exactly.
They're actually using data to make more informed decisions.
Uh-huh. And it's interesting to contrast that with how leaders operated in the past.
Yeah, like back in the day, it was all about gut feeling. Right now.
Yeah. I mean, their knowledge and instincts are still valuable,
Sure.
but AI now provides this layer of data-driven intelligence that can lead to faster and, in many cases, more precise decisions.
Like, instead of reacting to a dip in sales,
Yeah.
businesses can potentially anticipate it
Right.
based on AI analysis and adjust their strategies proactively. And we're already seeing this play out in some really significant ways.
Absolutely.
Like in healthcare, I was reading about AI-assisted diagnostics,
Uh-huh.
where AI algorithms are being trained on medical images
Wow.
to detect early signs of diseases like diabetic retinopathy.
And in some cases, they can do this with a higher degree of accuracy than human specialists.
It's incredible.
It is. And in the financial world, we have AI-powered fraud detection systems,
Right.
as one of your articles on risk management detailed. These systems are constantly learning and adapting to identify and prevent fraudulent activities.
Which is obviously protecting a ton of financial resources.
And these aren't just theoretical possibilities.
Right.
These are real-world applications with a tangible impact.
And it's not just about, making better decisions faster.
Right.
But this whole AI thing is also changing the role of leadership itself.
Yeah, that's a really important point. I mean, it's less about a leader being the sole decision maker on every issue and more about like what one of your articles hinted at.
Okay.
It's about the ability to formulate the right questions for the AI to address
Interesting.
and to truly understand both the capabilities and the limitations of these AI tools.
So it's almost like leaders are becoming more like coaches or facilitators who guide the use of AI
That's right.
rather than just making all the decisions themselves.
Exactly. And as AI handles more of the routine data analysis, the emphasis for leaders shifts toward uniquely human skills.
Like, what kind of skills are we talking about?
Well, empathy and emotional intelligence, which were discussed in several of your sources regarding team dynamics,
Right.
those become even more critical for bridging the gap between technology and people.
Because at the end of the day, it's still people who are making the decisions right,
Right.
even if they're using AI to help them.
Exactly. And leaders need those skills to connect with their teams and ensure that the implementation of AI aligns with the organization's broader goals and values.
It's like AI can give you the data, but it can't tell you what to do with it.
Exactly.
You still need human judgment and intuition for that.
And one of your articles touched on the idea that while AI can identify top performers based on certain metrics, it can't provide the human elements of leadership that inspire those individuals,
Right.
understand their career aspirations, or foster a strong team culture.
That still requires a human touch.
Absolutely.
So for you as someone looking to develop your leadership skills in this evolving landscape, it seems clear that while understanding AI is important,
Yeah,
the uniquely human aspects of leadership are becoming even more valuable.
I agree.
Now, thinking about how leaders can best navigate this shift,
Right.
what are some key lessons that emerge from the material you've been studying?
Well, drawing from several of your sources that advocate for a proactive approach,
Okay.
the first key lesson is to really embrace AI as a collaborative partner, not as something to be feared or resisted.
Don't be scared of the robots.
Right. Invest time in understanding how these technologies function,
Hmm.
what their potential benefits are for your specific field or industry, and where their inherent limitations lie.
So do your homework
Uh-huh.
and be open to learning new things.
Exactly. And that aligns with the idea in one of your articles about fostering a growth mindset within organizations.
Right. It's about seeing AI as an opportunity rather than an obstacle.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Secondly, and this is a recurring theme in many of your meetings on effective leadership,
Okay.
never underestimate the enduring and growing importance of human-centric skills.
Like what, for instance?
Things like creativity, complex problem solving, critical thinking, and effective collaboration. These are the skills that will increasingly differentiate impactful leaders in an AI-driven world.
Because those are things that AI can't do, right?
Right. AI can augment these skills by providing data and insights, but it cannot replace the human capacity for innovation and nuanced judgment.
So it's about leveraging AI to amplify our human capabilities rather than just outsourcing decision-making entirely.
Exactly.
What was the third lesson?
Well, several of your sources emphasize the importance of leading with a clear purpose that extends beyond just efficiency gains.
Okay.
Think strategically about how AI can be leveraged not only to achieve organizational objectives,
Uh-huh.
but also to drive positive societal impact within the context of your industry.
So use AI for good,
Right.
not just for profit.
Exactly.
So to bring it all together,
Okay.
based on the insights from your reading,
Uh-huh.
it seems like navigating leadership in this age of AI really boils down to finding that critical balance.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
It's about thoughtfully integrating the immense power of technology while staying firmly rooted in our fundamental human strengths and values.
Absolutely. And as your sources collectively suggest, AI is undeniably a powerful tool, but its ultimate value and direction are determined by the individuals who implement and oversee it.
So we're still in control.
Yeah.
It's just that we have this new powerful tool to work with.
Exactly. And effective leadership in this new era demands a mindful combination of technological understanding and essential human qualities, a blend of data-driven logic and human intuition, and a continuous focus on both innovation and responsible application.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Considering everything we've discussed and reflecting on the themes present in your sources,
Uh-huh.
how might this increasing integration of AI in leadership actually reshape our fundamental understanding of what constitutes effective leadership and influence within organizations and society in the years to come?
That's a great question.
It's definitely a fascinating area to continue exploring.
It is.
And we appreciate you taking this deep dive with us.
Fine place.